Mayfield hasn't missed a game. That's why Keenum didn't start one last year. He had a career year in Minnesota. He was 11-3 as the starter in 2017. Since then, just 7-17, bounced around a little bit, and again, been the backup in Cleveland. Nick Mullins, activated off the practice squad. He will back up Keenum tonight. So, look, I mean, obviously Baker Mayfield, tough, wanted to play through this, has been playing through it, but not going to be able to answer the bell tonight. Jeff, what more can you tell us, not only about Baker's health, but the rest of his team?
Well, Dan, let's start with Baker, because we talk about this being a re-aggravation of an injury suffered week 2. There's an important delineation here. This is now a fully torn labrum that he's dealing with in his non-throwing shoulder. So while Baker felt like he was going to be able to go, he ended up getting 2 opinions from 2 different doctors that ultimately said, we advise against that. Now, the question, of course, becomes, this isn't going to get better without surgery. If they advise against him playing this week, what's going to change after that? So some real precarious situations facing the Browns starting quarterback. And of course, we also have a ton of other injuries plaguing this team right now. The running back situation. They've got 2 guys that are going to be out of this game. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, both dealing with calf issues. Now, the hope here is that Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry can potentially play in this game. Kevin Stefanski said he has not ruled either one of those guys out. Landry is a guy that's coming off of the injured reserve and has missed the last several games. Beckham is a guy who suffered his shoulder injury Sunday against Arizona. So if they can at least get those guys in this game, maybe they can compensate for what is obviously a decimated running game. However you look at it, though, right now, the Browns situation is dire indeed.
Clearly a week where they could have used a few extra days and not played on Thursday night. But such is life. Bart Scott, playing without your starting quarterback, never ideal. Can the Browns win anyway?
I believe they can. I mean, when you think about Case Keenum and who he's been, especially within this system, he's played at a high level. Now, it's been a long time, so with backups, you never know which version of them you're going to get. The one where they played at the height of their superpowers, or when they get exposed and they'll be hiding on rosters, stealing money for a couple of years. Now, when I'm looking at the Cleveland Browns, this is a team that's predicated on running the football and trying to play the short game, get the ball out of their hands. Listen, if Case Keenum can't figure it out, Baker Mayfield isn't going to get better. That shoulder doesn't get better. Guys are going to start attacking that shoulder. They got to go to plan C, which I think should be Cam Newton. When you think about signing him early, if Case Keenum can't show that he can account himself very well, because listen, you talk about Baker's shoulder, it doesn't get better, and teams are going to continue tackling him and tackling his arms, and that shoulder's going to keep popping out until he can't handle the pain anymore.
You're just going to throw Cam Newton in there? Just like throw the name in there like we're not going to talk about it?
Well, I set it up with the C. You better be earlier than late to the party. Somebody going to sign him, man. He's double vaxxed now.
Well, they're not signing him in time for tonight's game. Lewis, which version of Case Keenum do you expect to see in this game?
I expect to see a solid version of Case Keenum. I expect to see really what has been defined as the game manager Case Keenum, which is just fine because that's exactly what they need. Why? Because I don't think he was ever, going to be expected to win the football game. And I think the other components of this team, namely special teams and defense, have to step up. They just do. And defense in particular, and we've talked about it already, we know that this defense is kind of littered with headline type of names and explosive type of playmakers that can turn the game around and set the offense up with short fields if they are able to produce turnovers, which this defense should be able to, considering the fact that they have playmakers on all 3 levels. And I think then, from there, Case Keenum will do what he has always done. Make good decisions pre-snap, be accurate with the football post-snap, not be careless with the football, understand exactly what Kevin Stefanski wants to do from a game plan standpoint, considering his familiarity with him when he was in Minnesota. And I think they will set themselves up to have a chance to win this football game. That's what backup quarterbacks are supposed to do. That's what Case has always done in this kind of role. Let's just see if tonight holds true.
If he can't, that would drop the Browns to 3-4. Damian Woody, this is a team that came into this season with very high hopes. If they lose this game tonight, do you think they are done?
No, I don't think they're done. I think, if you look at their schedule after this Thursday night game, there's a lot of favorable matchups. But I think the big key for them, obviously, is health, getting those guys back healthy. One of the advantages of playing on a Thursday night, albeit, the Browns being in a tough situation tonight, is that you got a mini bye. So you have the opportunity to potentially get some guys back healthy. But listen, at the end of the day, Lewis touched on it. This Browns defense need to come through. You know, you got a backup quarterback playing. We saw all the people that are out on the offensive side of the football. This Browns defense, with all those names that we've been talking about since before the season started, these guys need to come through in the clutch. If they can come through and play the type of football that most people thought the Browns defense would play this season, then I think they can get this win and hopefully get on the mend and put something together going forward.
Bart, you're shaking your head.
Yeah, because when I look at that schedule, even tonight, I see guys that are going to play a backup quarterback a certain type of way. When you have a quarterback that you know is not going to have a run game, then you close the distance. You not only bring the eighth man in the box, but you also press the receivers not to give them those easy throws, which means that those tackles are going to be put on the island that are backups against Von Miller and Chubb. Yeah. And then next week they have the Steelers who present the same issues. So if they can't get guys back and get guys healthy, then you talk about backup quarterbacks or a quarterback with compromised throwing shoulders or injured shoulders, then it poses for a really tough, road ahead for the Cleveland Browns, who is in very big danger of maybe missing the playoffs.
Big game for both teams. Not only are the Browns 3-3, so are the Broncos after they started.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.